Welcome to Bounce Back Stronger, the podcast that explores ways to find peace and purpose after difficulty. I'm your host, Donna Ferris, and today we have best-selling author and speaker Agapi Stassinopoulos with us. A little bit about Agapi. Agapi has been sharing her wisdom all over the world through her inspiring talks and best-selling books like Wake Up to the Joy of You and Conversations with the Goddesses, Gods, and Goddesses in Love. She dives into timeless, spiritual, and mythic stories showing how they can guide us in today's world. Her newest book, Speaking with Spirit, is a heartfelt, non denominational guide to prayer, not as something formal or distant, but as an everyday conversation with something greater than ourselves. Agape reminds us how prayer can turn fear, worry, and anxiety into moments of calm, gratitude, and connection, something we could all use right now. Agape, I just want to thank you so much for joining us on Bounce Back Stronger. I'm so honored to have you on the podcast.
Oh, Donna, I'm so thrilled to be here. I love what you do. And I think in some ways, we all bouncing back stronger from all the adversities that we all face. And they could be our own adversities, it could be our parents, it could be
Mhm.
our friends, it could be the world. But because we are so interconnected, we can become so connected to other people's afflictions. And that's
Yes.
something that I really want to address. And how do you become stronger? How do you return stronger and more resilient?
Yes, yes, yes. And I thought maybe it might be, if it's not too much trouble, to have you start us off with a prayer. It feels like the right thing to do in this moment. Would that
Yes,
be
I
okay?
would I would absolutely love to. It's not trouble at all. It is my greatest joy. I've been known many times to be in meetings or lunch with friends and or a dinner, and I say, let's pray.
Mm.
And what happens, my friends, as I am sharing with Donna this, is that when we pray, what it really means is that we move from our state of our individual, egocentric self focus to a bigger focus
Mm.
that we call God, for a lack of a better word. I mean, we came up with a three-letter word, God, but what does that encompass is the mystery, the transcendent of the universe.
Yes.
So, in that energy that we are all connected, what happens is when we pray, we evoke that and we bring it present and we ask it to be forward. So, we shift the brain from me, to we,
Mm.
to larger, to I'm not alone. My favorite chapter in Wake Up to the Joy of You book is God is your partner. So I always say to people, don't do it alone because
Mhm.
it's hard. And recenter, come back to your presence, come back to your source, come back to know that you're connected. How do you know you're connected? Because you're being breathed. Who is breathing us right now? You cannot take a breath, you receive your breath. And when we realize that, we're like, oh my God, we cannot make the heart beat. The heart beats on its own. This body functions on its own. So we become part of our stress is because we define ourselves by our own story, our own lives, our own conditions.
Mm.
And becoming unconditional, which is what God is about, the loving energy, the presence is a task, is a discipline, it's an awareness that you have to come back over and over again.
And it helps us feel less lonely, which is an epidemic, right? I think
Exactly,
it,
Donna, exactly.
without prayer, without the ability to call on a higher power, surrender to a higher power at times too,
All the
you
time.
feel
And we're
so alone.
so alone and so vulnerable.
Mm.
So, right now, my friends, just wherever you are, sit comfortably. If you are driving, don't close your eyes,
Mm.
keep your eyes open. But if you're not driving and you are sitting in your living room or in your bed, or if you are at your desk, just take a deep, long breath and we ask and evoke the light of the Spirit. And we exhale with a little sound like ah. When we exhale with a sound, we give a signal to the brain that we are safe, that all is well. And we ask to be clear, disconnected from any negativity, any concerns, any worries, any preoccupations. And we ask to fill our vessel, our body, our minds, our souls with the spiritual energy of who we really, really, really are. And we ask for a blessing here with Donna and Agapi and all our listeners who are listening to receive of this light right now, to know that the light is here. And we evoke it from our heart center and we open up our energy, our love, our caring, our wisdom, and our higher power. And we send this energy forward into our day. We send it to our workplace, to our wishes. We send it to all those who are listening. And we send it ahead of us for just a wonderful day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I would just ask listeners too to just notice how that makes you feel.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really important when we're going through these practices is a lot of times we kind of naysay things. And I always like to say, well, let's just look at the evidence. And after that, during your words, I certainly felt a clearing and
That's right.
a
Exactly.
happiness, a sense of joy.
Exactly.
And I just think sometimes it's important. It's like I always use the golf analogy. You get that hole in one, everybody wants to go back. I think it's important to kind of note that those things happen.
Exactly. Exactly. And you find your sweet spot.
That's right.
You know, I was doing a meditation this morning for the company Accenture, who are very stressed at this time of the
Mm.
year because it's their busiest time. And after the meditation, this woman said, I felt like I was in an inner spa. And I said, that's to me absolutely the power of what we can do. I call it, Donna, I call it my portable paradise. And I think I would like to communicate to our listeners that if you build it, it will come. You know that movie,
Yeah.
the Field of Dreams, I think it was called, with Kevin Costner.
Yes.
And they said, if you build it, they will come. And that if you build that energy, if you build that fortress around you, that space, basically, your castle, your inner castle, the energy of spirit will come and fill it up. So your portable paradise is something that you have to keep at it and in creating that inner space, that inner spa. And then what we have to do, Donna, is observe what are the thoughts that are creating anxiety? What are the thoughts that are creating worry? What are the thoughts that are creating restlessness? What are the thoughts that are creating fear? Because we are birthing the fear. Fear is not there by itself. We are birthing the fear, most of us, the fear of what could happen, the worst that could happen. And I think it is so important to lean back and look at it in the face and talk to that fear, write it down. And then once you forgive it, because we also judge our fears and our anxieties, and once you take it in your hands and you say, okay, I see you, I hear you, let's address it. I mean, if it is a fear that is legitimate, I mean, there's a lot of things going on right now in the world that cause fear at the moment, as you know. So again, there is a way to really start to release it, dissect it, unfold it, and offer it to the higher power. Offer it to the source, offer it to the presence.
Right. Thy will be done to a certain extent, right? And
Yes. That's
And what do you think about
beautiful.
the attention? Our fears get stoked by what we pay attention to. It's all about that. We have to be careful with that. Where do you
Place
see
your
that?
attention.
Yeah.
Energy follows thought.
Yes.
Exactly. Where you place your attention, there you'll find yourself. And I just want to say and affirm that it's not easy.
No.
So, my friends, as you're listening, I don't think this is something that Donna or I have mastered, right?
No.
This is something that we observe, and these things have root to childhood, traumas, and really the root of it, Donna, is that we do not feel safe.
Hmm.
We don't feel safe in the world. We don't feel safe in our bodies. We don't feel safe in our relationships. Where do we feel safe? But safety is something that we have to go back and release. Like I heard a beautiful saying the other day, healing is not that the trauma didn't happen, but it is that you can now wipe out the trauma and you don't remember it, of whatever happened with our parents, with our classmates. But things happen to all of us
Hmm.
that make our hearts close and make a belief I'm not safe. So to start to bring safety into your life is really the conversation, the dialogue with a part of yourself. They call it the inner child or the little girl, the little boy in us that got rejected, that got shut down, that was told no so many times, that felt excluded, that felt betrayed, that felt not loved, not cherished.
Hmm.
So, can you go back and bring the canopy of your love to that part?
And let go of all the things that tamped that down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just repeat what you just said, tamp that down, because it's like somebody said to me the other day, I was doing a webinar, I said, I felt I was too much for my family. I had too much energy. I was too free, and
Hmm.
so I dumped that down. What did you call it?
I tamped it down. We
I
tamped it down.
dumped it down. I pressed that down.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I'm walking around on eggshells, the person said. And now I feel I'm walking around in a straitjacket. Don't say that. Don't say this. This might, say this, be that, be that. And we alter ourselves
Hmm.
to fit
We do.
in.
We
We
do.
all
And
want to fit in.
I love that idea, which I think is really helpful. I call it the peace that passes all understanding, but it's finding that spot. And I think you called it like that inner space that you're okay no matter what happens. And people look at me like I'm, you know, nuts when I say that. But it is there. It is possible. It's not something though, I would say maybe, and I'd love to your opinion on this. It's not something that is really great and accessible when you're in the middle of a crisis. So that's why we want to work on it and cultivate it before, on a daily basis. What do you think about that?
Well, this is so true about it's not something you can tell people who are in the middle of crisis. The other day, I had a very interesting experience. I was at my niece's home with my niece was out, and we had the toddler who was three, who I play with, Alexander, and Annabelle, who is 3 months old. And
Oh,
the nanny was making the dinner for Alexander, and I was watching Annabelle, but Annabelle was hungry. So I had her in the little bouncer. I don't know how old is your grandchild,
yes.
but the bouncer.
Yep.
I had her in the little bouncer, and I was talking to her, and suddenly she kept going, "Eh." And suddenly she started screaming, and I was trying to untie her, not untie her, the
Yeah.
buttonhole.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
button.
The whole
I
thing.
and I couldn't do the buttonhole. Well, I panicked. You would have thought that she was in danger.
Yeah.
And she was crying, which she cries a lot, often, And I kept going, Ethel, Ethel, come here, help me, Ethel, Ethel, what are you doing? Ethel, why are you doing the chicken? You have to come and help me with Annabelle. And I was so nervous and so panicked. And I watched it in myself and I said,
Mm.
oh my God, I'm so glad I'm not the main caretaker for this child. Because, and if somebody said to me, relax, it's okay, I just needed somebody to come in, help me unbutton the buttonhole and take her out, But somebody who has done it over and over again and has dealt with crying babies is capable of doing that. So it's a question of practice.
Yes.
I've seen people where they get, if the Zoom is not happening,
Yes.
the Zoom, my computer is not working. It's not working. The Zoom is not working. They can't hear me, and technology can be a trigger.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you've got to look back and say, what triggers me? And bring loving to that part, bring acceptance, because if you say, don't do that, it's not going to happen.
No.
There's nothing worse than when you are tense and upset and anxious, when people say, relax,
Does
it's
anybody
okay.
do that when they're told to relax? Does
Oh,
anybody
really?
do that?
Oh, really? I'm so glad you reminded me.
So helpful.
So it's working with the brain and working with your energy to really unwind yourself. And it's a practice that it's in preparation, because I've done a lot of stage work.
Right, yeah.
And I speak in front of thousands of people. And whenever it's so funny, because I do a preparation of preparing my energy to stand in front of a group of people so that I am calm.
Yeah.
And it's really, I watch myself where it's, what my key is always? Hand it over.
Mm.
Hand it over. Hand it over to God, whatever God is for you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you hand it over, you are not so personally engaged, and the higher energy takes over. And it is the most magnificent thing. It's the most magnificent thing.
It really is. I think about your books, which both the Speaking with Spirit and Wake Up to the Joy of You, they're 52 beautifully written chapters.
Yes.
They're almost like a person could use them to prepare for their day, right? As a reading, I meditate, I do readings every morning. Your books are part of that reading.
So happy. That's so wonderful. Thank you.
And well, thank you. And how do you think about that? Like, is that part of your preparation daily in getting ready for your day? Because I think we have to kind of fill up. I make this analogy sometimes that I can handle situations some days better than others, right?
Yes.
And I can look at the day and say, "Oh, I just had my birthday, or I just spent time with my daughter, or whatever," and that filled up my well. And then I was able to manage the normal things of the day much easier. And I think about these morning routines and reading books like yours
Yes.
as a way to fill up that well. Anything resonate for you
Yes.
there?
I love the morning routine. I think for me, because I always say I come in the morning from the night travel, the unconscious, the dream state.
Yeah.
So I need to get moving, and I feel like if I'm gonna have my cappuccino,
Yes.
have my espresso, put on
Yes.
my red lipstick,
Coffee here.
yes, put on my, mine too here,
Here we go. Exactly.
have a glass of water
Yes.
next to your bed. Literally, I get up and I go, do I feel like drinking it? No. I make myself drink it because it grounds me.
Yeah.
Then I open my curtains and I chant, and I want to share this with the listeners. I chant a mantra while I'm pulling my curtains up, which is Hu, H-U, which means God in Sanskrit.
Mm.
So I go, Hu,
Wow.
Hu. So while I'm doing something physical to get into my body, because in the morning, personally, I'm not really in my body.
Yeah.
I don't feel grounded. And of course, you can go on your phones, but give yourself a minute.
Please.
Give yourself a minute, for God's sake, And believe me, I never, never, never go into the news.
Mm-mm.
If I go on my phone, it's texts. Now I have a little group of people, and they are like my inner light circle, I call it.
Nice.
And we send each other light for the day.
Oh, that's lovely.
And they are in LA and they are here. And one of them is in Canada. And not all the time, Donna, but I go, I need the light today. I'm doing a podcast with Donna and I'm doing a meditation for Accenture. And then I have something in send light ahead, sending you all the light.
Mm.
Or somebody said the other day, I'm recovering from knee surgery, send light. And we all send light to her.
Love that.
And somebody said, I woke up with a lot of anxiety because my husband is dealing with some health issues. Or I heard that a friend of ours was in an accident or whatever. Or it could be something wonderful. Send the light because somebody said, my daughter is about to start her senior year and she's applying for colleges. And today is the day we're going to hear about it. Anything like that.
Yeah.
All you do is light, 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 light. I am obsessed with sending light. In
I
my
love that.
on my doors, in my mirrors, I have cube of light. I have people laugh at me. I say cube of light. I have post-its everywhere. What does that mean? That means that I have to remind my brain that is often, our brains are like, I call it deaf and dumb. Is anybody listening to that? You're not alone.
I totally get that.
Hello?
Yep.
So I have to remind myself. And when I see that little sign with red letters, cube of light, that means, it doesn't take a long time to connect to God. It takes intention.
Mm-hmm.
Exhale. Now in the morning, when you're thinking of your day, you think of your to-do list, and then you start to worry, oh, I forgot this, or, oh, I have to send my jacket to the cleaners, or did I make that appointment, and how long would it take, or you pack too much in the day, and then you start to feel pressured. All that's there. I have a meditation that I would love to send to everybody, and I'm going to give you my email in a minute. It's called Managing Your Energy.
Nice.
And basically, if you move into your light, if you move into your higher energy, that you're not alone, then you start to do your day and it flows. It flows. It's like everything falls in alignment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's miraculous. And just witnessing that for a few days, you know what I started to do, Donna, which I recommend highly. I have a journal. I would every night, all I did is write what worked during the day. And I said, you see, you're worried about this, but that happened. You see, you were worried you're going to be late, but you were on time. You see, you didn't know about this, and that showed up how to do that. And then you see, what was great today is that I made myself this fabulous salad that I had for lunch, because usually sometimes we're hungry and we don't know what to eat. And then we go, oh, I shouldn't have had bread, or I had a muffin and I shouldn't have had a muffin. And then the other day I was doing something and then I was doing something else and I was talking to my niece. I was in Los Angeles and suddenly I went like this to reach out. There was another person there and I spilled the coffee. And I spilled a whole cup of coffee on my computer, on the chairs. And I went, thank you, because that is such an awareness that Agapi cannot multitask. I think my sister, who is amazing, multitasks beautifully. I mean, she doesn't advocate to it, but she's very good at handling a lot of things. I'm not, So if I do that and I try to imitate her and say, well, she does, get down to what works for you. Multitasking doesn't work for Agapi.
And God helped you with that, with the coffee,
I
right?
nearly ruined my computer. It was so great because the person who was there put a hair dryer and dried the liquid from the computer. And I was so panicked. I said, oh my God, the minute I go to New York, I have to go to Apple Store. That's all my documents, all my emails, everything. But did I learn? Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now, when I have this here, I go, put it over there, focus over here. You have to talk to yourself. You have
Well,
to,
yeah. Well, I really appreciate you telling that story. I think you're just so relatable and in real. Because I think so many people think that it just always comes naturally,
oh,
right? Just because we meditate and we do
write
all these
books about
things and we
it.
and
And
read about it and write about it, that it's easy, but we always are triggered back. We're always a few seconds away from something. And I think the thing that the practice does is it makes those times to return to ourselves and our higher spirit faster, right? So we see it and we go, oh, and
beautiful.
we don't shame ourselves as badly as we would have otherwise. And we go, oh yeah, there I am being human again. Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
there she is. And then I just go,
Every
okay,
day, every
yeah.
day. Unfortunately, this is not one of those things that you say, well, it's like you brush your teeth every day. You didn't say, well, I brushed it twice yesterday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's really good.
In the same way, you practice attentiveness, you practice knowing you are present with yourself, you practice being connected, you practice
Yep.
staying connected, you practice forgiveness, you practice breathing,
Yes.
you practice exhaling. Well, here we go again,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
you practice bringing your enthusiasm to
Yes.
life. And there's something so powerful about when you see yourself spinning or other people are spinning around you,
Mm.
you go, back off, take a moment. Have that inner master inside that, I mean, I think you said something at the beginning where you said your humanness and your higher self. I mean, imagine that inside of you, there is a master being.
Yes.
So bond with that.
Yes.
Take that inner master and listen. And so the inner master, what does he or she say to you? Back off, take a minute, come to me.
Yes.
Breathe.
And I want to get to partially because I have a friend that's going to be really interested in this question, but to the goddess work that you've done. And in a way that kind of fits in here, it's a story. These are stories about parts of us and myths that ground us. I'm curious how you see that work and how it helps us kind of tap into some of these elements of ourselves.
Well, Carl Jung talks about the archetypes.
Yes.
And I wrote a book called Conversations with the Goddesses about the seven goddesses and the qualities in all of us that we embody. And if we understand them, we can embody them and we can access them and we can evoke them,
Mm.
that they're in all of us because they are the archetypes. So very quickly, I will just mention them. So we have Aphrodite, which is the beauty, the essence of beauty and eros and sensuality, anything to do with the senses, the way we dress, the way we behave with the opposite sex, the sexuality, but it's beyond that, it's the feminine. The feminine. So you awaken your feminine. Then we have Athena, which is the presence, the mind, the power of the intellect. And she's a warrior, but she's a peace warrior.
Mm.
Her symbol is the olive tree, which is the symbol of peace. But she's a warrior. And we can all, as women, access the warrior in us.
Mm.
Not the warrior that worries, the warrior that has the sword.
The A one.
And then we have Hestia, which is the essence,
Mm.
the hearth, the fire. And then we have Artemis, which is the goddess of the hunt, which is independent, focused, the Artemisian spirit, which is about the environment. Jane Goodall, God
Mm.
bless her, who
God
just
bless.
passed away, this extraordinary woman. She was very much an Artemis, connected to nature, to the animals. And
Mhm.
then we have Persephone, the goddess of the underworld, the dreamer, the transformation. And then we have Hera, the partnership, the goddess of marriage. So in these seven archetypes, you have the kaleidoscope of we as women
Mhm.
can embody this. And in my book, I talk very clearly how can you evoke these energies in you
Really
so that
powerful.
you don't feel you are just an Agapi
Hmm.
or just a Donna or just a Mary or just a Susan, or you just, okay, that's your story, that's who you are, but you are all of those qualities.
Yeah, I
So
really love that. I
I
think
have
that's really empowering. I think,
very empowering.
and I have a bit of a yoga background, and we have archetypes there as well. And that's really helpful, especially when people are going through difficult times, to say, these are archetypes that I can take on to help me get through this time. Which, so
Yes.
I love the work that you did in that space.
Yes, yes, I do too. I mean, I moved on, but I love it, and people can look and find the book.
Yep.
And I have a one-woman show at PBS called Conversation with the Goddesses, which was wonderful. I have to digitize it and put it up in my YouTube
Yes,
channel. It
that
was
would be
really,
amazing. Yeah, I would love that. So you did allude to the meditation you did with the company this morning. And it's really good to hear that, by the way. I actually do meditations at work too, small scale. And I wish everybody did to start a meeting. But
yes.
but what have you learned about bringing spiritual practices like meditation and prayer to corporate environments, and how have companies been able to do that successfully? Because I kind of stumbled into it at my company and it's working well. But I think a lot of people struggle to say, oh, how am I ever going to do that at my company? And I'd love to hear your thoughts
I
on
think
that.
we have found it incredibly successful. And I think people are so hungry for it and so
Hmm.
thirsty for it. So that, because, I really look at meditation as an incorporating to our busy lives. I don't look at meditation as, chilling under a mango tree or going to Tibet and being with the monks,
Yes.
or denouncing life and wearing your robes and taking a little ball of rice, and saying, I am now denouncing life. I see it like you be in the world, but you bring that essential quality, because the truth of the matter is that spirit is who we are. And when you realize how short this life is and how we're all born and we're all going to die. And when, if you've ever seen anybody die, which I saw both my parents take their last breath, you
Mm,
know that we are not just this. We are the spirit, but our days are so filled with our to-dos and our deadlines and our next, 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 next. So what we're really doing with bringing meditation is focusing back to the life force, which is our breath. I start my meditations by saying, how many breaths do we take a day? And people go, I don't know, 1,000? I said, try again. And they go, well, I don't know, like 5,000? And I said, what about 28,000 breaths a day?
mm.
And do we ever think about that? And then I put a slide up that says, even one conscious breath can reset your brain. So right now, as we're all listening to Donna and Agapi, focus on taking a breath. You didn't really take the breath. You kind of became conscious that you're receiving your breath. So receive your breath and let it circulate in your body. And now exhale, and as you exhale, exhale the tensions, exhale the worries, exhale, come into your solar plexus. This is where the anxiety usually sits. And exhale it and breathe all the way to the solar plexus. And then I go, stretch your arms, because stretching physiology.
Mm.
Take your left arm and stretch to the right, and feel how wonderful it is to stretch your side, your lungs. And take your other arm and exhale with a sound like, ah. And take a deep, long, slow breath and open up your arms and lean all the way in the back and go, ah.
Ah.
And one more time, lean all the way back and go, ah.
Ah.
And let go. And then take your arms and put them around yourself, like you're giving yourself a big hug, and turn to the right and go, ah. Exhale. Hear yourself exhale. And turn to the left. And now tap your thymus very gently. Tap, 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 tap. And say, all is well in my world.
All is well
Trust
in my world.
that all works out.
I trust that all works out.
I'm confident in my steps.
I'm confident in my steps.
I receive my breath.
I receive my breath.
And I relax and let go.
And I relax and let go.
I ask for help today.
I ask for help today.
And you start to name what you ask help for, and you just name it right now in yourself. Just name it. Please walk with me. Let me know that I'm loved. Let me know my goodness and forgive all the judgments. I'm grateful. And come into your presence. You can put your hands together, because it's a wonderful thing. I love that movement of the palms together, because it's the left and the right brain coming together and aligning, and feel yourself aligned to all your centers. From your third eye, which is in between your forehead, from your throat chakra, your heart chakra, your solar plexus, your spleen, your creative sexual center, your knees, and all the way down to your feet. And feel this breath circulating around, creating waves of calmness. And feel a string, a rope, a string, a beautiful silk rope from above your head, pulling you up to your source, to your soul, to your energy. And feel your energy just opening up, and ask to receive of your soul's presence, which is invisible to us, but very present in the other level. So ask for your soul's presence to be here right now and reveal itself to you throughout the day. And send the light, this light that's here right now, send it to the people that work with you, your family, your significant other, sisters, brothers, nephews, parents, friends. Send it. Just let this light go to everything and everyone. Send it to your home. Fill your home with light, with presence. Fill your workspace with light and presence. And now seal yourself like zipping up, like a zipper, where you feel protected, and you ask that no energies come in your energy field that are not for your highest good. So you feel yourself protected, surrounded, embraced, not closed down, just protected. And you place this light in your solar plexus, where the emotions reside, and you see just a field of canopy of light around you that deflects any energies, any news, anything that does not concern you. You turn it back where it is, and you go free. And you go free. And stay centered, and you can open your eyes.
Amazing. Amazing. And you find that probably changes the energy in the room when you do that, or the energy on the Zoom when
Exactly.
you do that. Imagine sending all of the corporate folks out into their meetings, into their day. It's just,
Exactly.
it would just change the world.
You
It
become
really
it.
would.
And when you listen to the news, and there's nothing you can do.
Nothing you can do.
So therefore, but you can do one thing. You can send light, you can send positive energy, you can pray, and you can return and affect the person next to you,
That's right.
or the person at the supermarket.
Yeah,
You can do a lot,
I agree. I agree so much. You've given me so much time. Is there anything that you want to share
I think
before
I'm
we
going to
go?
share a little prayer, maybe just
Yeah,
as we finish.
that would be
That
wonderful.
is a prayer about time because, we all struggle with not enough time. And I want to give everybody my email, which is agapi, AGAPI, at unbinding. You can put it up in your website as well or
I
wherever,
will.
unbinding the heart, unbindingtheheart.com.
Wonderful.
And I'll send you these meditations that I mentioned, but you can download my meditations on Audible, my books on Audible. You can get them on Amazon or Barnes and Noble or wherever you get your books. Oh, I love it. I love it. And then I'm going to read this. And thank you so much, Donna, for your presence and your time. And thank you to everybody who listened. Share this with your community. People need to be uplifted, and we need to remind ourselves and each other that we're never alone. So, this is about living with a sense of timelessness. Dear beloved, I feel the pressure and the panic of time going by. I feel that I don't even have time to have a moment with you. This is page 309 from chapter 50. Inside my head, I hear these words all the time. I don't have enough time. There is no time. Where did the time go? My heart longs to experience a sense of timelessness, to be above time, to know that in the constraints of my mind and the physical world, I can still attune to the universal clock that has a rhythm, a pace, like the river of life that flows and knows its direction. I ask now that I may open my mind to know the timelessness of my existence. In the midst of my doings, my actions, my to-do lists, and all the demands of my life, I ask that I may move into the rhythm that the universe has so brilliantly and intelligently constructed. Just as the planets turn on the axis in their own time, may I become connected to the divine timing of my life. Like my cells that have their own life force, in constant motion yet never hectic, I ask that I too tap into the source of knowing that as I slow down, I will move into the perfect pace of my life, letting go of the pressure, the overwhelming feelings that deplete me, and the uncertainty. We take a deep breath, we exhale, and we say, I ask that the peace that reigns over all things be reinstated in me right now. I call it forward, and I allow it to supersede my thoughts and emotions and overtake me as I become more of an observer and less of a warrior. I'm grateful for allowing this in my life. I'm grateful to know that there is another way. I ask that day by day I may be redirected to move into the natural flow of my spirit. Thank you. So be it.
That was lovely and needed.
Oh, thank you, Donna.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being with me and all your work.
And
I
remember, get this wonderful book, keep it by your bedside, and believe me, you are going to get a lot out of it as you read these prayers loud. They were given to me by Spirit, and they lifted me during the pandemic when I needed help. I reached out to Spirit. So this is very grounded in the Spirit.
perfect.
Thank you
Thank you.
all. And you can also go into my website, which is wakeuptothejoyofyou.com. And there is more information. And yes, wakeuptothejoyofyou.com. And follow me on Instagram, Agapi Sees, SES, Agapi Sees. I'm very active and putting uplifting things there every day.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. I think that's a real gift. Well, thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Donna.
Thank you. Wasn't that amazing? That's all for today. If you want to learn more about Agape's books and events, those links will be in the show notes. I hope this episode was helpful. If it was, please subscribe, drop a review, or share it with your friends and family. That's the best way to get it into the hands of those who may benefit. And if my daughters Sienna and Sylvia are listening, I just want you to know how proud I am of you. And I love you so much. Bye now.